I'm just a grunt. If I wasn't a Marine, I'd be humping hay on Daddy's farm and getting into all kinds of hell trouble. No doubt about that. But when I joined up, they give you this kind of test, which sees just how clever you are. Real scientific. Turned out I was a damn sight cleverer than everyone thought, including me. Go figure. That's how come I ended up as a Guardian. I still had to do boot. We're still Marines first. But after, I get sent straight to learning how to look after a Joe. You don't fly or steer Joes. They can move way too fast for that. No human can keep up. They got like 100 different sources of data coming in at them. Even a fighter pilot couldn't process all that. You're there to do things it can't do for itself. Like a major repair, or just keep the damn thing clean. Someone came up with this idea of putting the platoon together in Nevada to train with their Joe and its Guardian, so everyone would know the drill when we got to Iran. That's when Bastard Platoon arrived. They'd never seen a Joe before, and they didn't like the idea of having to carry one. Some of them had already been over there, some were old enough to have served in Afghanistan or even as far back as Iraq. A couple, including the Gunny, were VCs, the Brotherhood of Blood and Oil. That's what they called themselves. I didn't get along with Bastard Platoon. Not at first, anyways. They thought Joes were just another piece of expensive shit they'd catch hell for breaking or losing. They had no idea everything was about to change forever. It's all kind of awkward at the start. They treat me as a geek even though I ain't. I'm a Marine, damn it. I get froze out in the DFAC line, in the gym, on R&R, you know, the sort of thing. I manage the machine. They kick the doors and take the risks, so they set the pecking order. I start to get accepted a little when some of their cheap prosthetics start to go for rat shit and they realize I'm pretty handy with a multi-tool and lube spray. But they're still pretty frosty. But when they see what a Marine Guardian and a Jarhead Joe are capable of, well, overnight I'm the prom queen. We're in the desert for like 2 weeks straight, freezing our asses off. Validation exercise for deployment to Iran, late 32. They had us doing all kinds of shit. We took it all in our stride. We started to bond with each other, with Joe. Shit, Bastard Platoon even started treating me fair and square. Not as an equal, not yet. Not until Joe started to save their sorry asses. We were assaulting a mock pig training camp, vetoed in by Osprey 2.0, the new tilt jet models they still call the Widowmaker. The camp was rigged with real but low-powered IEDs, enough to give you a scar but not take you out of the game. And those evil homemade remote guns the pigs make rigged to fire on fixed axis, giving some live fire experience to the kids who'd never been there before. They didn't count for the downdraft, knocking these guns off their perch. All of a sudden, we're taking effective fire down the valley. We take 2 KIA almost immediately. Bastard Platoon loses 2 guys, and we're still in the USA. Joe's taking bursts of fire, but it don't faze him none. I'm thinking, when will these guns run out of ammo? Why doesn't someone drop the connection and shut them off? Finally, we can break into cover and Joe smashes the makeshift remotes to bits. I swear to God, if you watch the cam footage back, he actually smiles. That night, we get stood down for a few hours, and we toast the dead of Bastard Platoon with a hip flask of rum someone had smuggled in. I don't know whether I'm supposed to drink from it, but Gunny O'Brien, the big Texan NCO, just nods at me, just once, and I understand that. I'm in. Joe's adding some heat to the desert night with the outflow from the fluted exhausts on his back. I pass him the flask, and in the half-light, it really looks like he's toasting the dead. That's as much as send-off you'll get in Bastard Platoon. We get a couple replacement boys, a night's sleep, a debrief from the field mental health team, and we're good to go. Here's where shit started to go horribly, massively wrong. Some safe zone. Rockets were coming in so fast they didn't bother sounding the alarm, but the robot sentries did a pretty good job of keeping the majority out. We just got time to load up with ammo and water, then we get sent to take part in the Second Battle of Tehran. Bastard platoons clearing the desert villages one by one. Real painful work. Sometimes boring, always dangerous. When GPS goes down, we don't have maps and wouldn't have a clue how to use them anyway. Then one of the bastard platoon grunts says, "We're going round in circles. I see one of our infrared sire looms I dropped as a marker an hour ago." Then Gunny O'Brien starts acting all weird, telling us to form a cordon. We're stopping for the night. I'm thinking, are you crazy, man? It's like 10 below freezing here. The rest of the Marines and Army are 5 miles to the west and 5 miles in front. And that's when I realized two things. Our infidel APC is running on fumes, which means the other must be too. And Gunny O'Brien's clothes and prosthetics heating system is packed up. He's hypothermic. His artificial limbs are locking up. He's freezing to death, and it's affecting his judgment. Our corpsman Jonesy tries to take Gunny's temperature. Not happening. That's when Joe just steps in. He switches on his heaters to start warming him up. I ain't never seen a Joe do something like that. Didn't know they could. He saved our lives that night. We took turns pulling duty and hugging Joe. Was I concerned the way Joe had acted without command? Sure. But they got autonomous actions and decision making. He just saved our skins. I didn't give it much thought. It made it much harder to come to terms with what happened next. We had no comms, fuel, or transport. We're way behind the advance, and without mapping, we didn't have much of a clue other than the direction of sunrise as to which way to go. We didn't think the effort to retake Tehran would spend much time looking for us. So we sent out the drones. And one of them finds us a village. Gunny O'Brien still wasn't himself, taking too long to respond to requests for orders. Him and Sergeant Jefferson have a quick and heated conversation. Sergeant Jefferson was in charge from that point forward. We pushed on. I swear Joe kept glancing back at us, at me in particular. I started to get the feeling something had changed the night before, that it wasn't just GPS we lost. If only I'd known. We hunkered down to figure out what to do next. I took a feed from Joe's sensors, but Sergeant Jefferson couldn't resist a quick look with his binos. Sniper took him through the eye. Joe pipes up. Sniper, 700 meters. Firing point identified. Joe ain't got no weapons though. He's a shield. He can kick doors, go in ahead of us, take a few for the team, but he isn't a weapons platform. He isn't designed to kill. Joe was there to help us kill, but I guess there was nothing to stop him from doing so himself. Before I could look around to see who was next in charge, Gunny O'Brien is away. I disconnect from Joe and tell him to go protect him. The rest of Bastard Platoon follows. This isn't an orderly advance or attack. Joe positions himself in front. Then Gunny O'Brien does the most crazy thing I ever seen. Gunny says the kid's dead. Or as near as, damn it, don't waste any time or effort on him. He's killed Jefferson. He's a pig. Something has changed. Feels like Gunny O'Brien's as much a danger to us as the enemy. The next order he gives turns my blood to ice. He tells Joe to sweep the village, bring me every weapon. He turns to us and says, bring everyone to me. Kill anyone who resists. So we do, but we don't kill anyone. There's no other fighters. The only weapons we find are some rusty AKs hanging over someone's fireplace. There's about 50 folk in all. no one of military age. The elder starts jabbering at Gunny O'Brien. Joe translates, "The fighter is not from our village. He sought refuge here. We told him not to attack the Americans. He was not our responsibility." The Haji gets a punch in the face for his trouble. The townsfolk are shocked. So are we. We were shocked by Jefferson's death, but we don't beat up old men. But Gunny O'Brien is our leader. He was mad as hell, streaked with a Marine's blood. He was gonna kill something or someone. Nothing was gonna stop him. But something did stop him. Joe just sort of held on to him, just like he'd done earlier. But this time, he was holding him way too tight. And he didn't let go. Jonesy says, "Joe's killed him. Murphy, how could you let that happen?" It's kind of a blur after that. I shut Joe down. They never truly shut down. They have protocols and shit that can wake them to recharge, deal with danger, that sort of thing. At some point in the night, he powered himself on and walked out into the desert. To the best of my knowledge, they've never found him. Maybe he's rotting away somewhere like some old abandoned Buick. Maybe the pigs got him, and we'll see him again with a black headband and a sword. Who knows? What do I think happened to him? I'm just a jarhead guardian, a grunt. I'm sure cleverer guys than me can tell you that, but something happened to him the night the GPS went down. Something changed. Whether it was accidental or something the Persians did, I don't know. I know he wasn't the only Joe that acted strange that night, and the Joes were withdrawn from Tehran within days. They are still with us, and I am still a Marine. But you really want to know what I think? I think once he lost comms and had to take some decisions for himself, he had to figure out what was right and what was wrong, and that's just what he did. Here's what I think, for what it's worth. I think he woke up.